We've waited 11 years for this story. So let's find out what happened to Barriss tonight. Hey everyone, welcome back to another, or actually the first ever Tales of the, I was going to say Bad Batch.
Oh, wow.
Tales of the Empire episode. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Tales of the Empire, Season 1, Episodes 4, Devoted, 5, Realization, and 6, The Way Out. And if you're listening to this, no, we did not already do the first 3 episodes.
No.
We just decided, we were saying in prior weeks that we were going to do Barriss first, but then when they released the season, it was like the last 3 episodes. So there's that. Also, I think a lot of people were more excited about Barriss and want to know our thoughts on it. So we're going to do the Barriss arc first, and then next week we will do...
We're doing them out of order, essentially.
Yep. And so next week we'll do the Morgan Elsbeth arc. But before we jump into our breakdown and thoughts and stuff, we have some business to go through. One, there was an Acolyte trailer that dropped on Star Wars Day. We were going to do a breakdown of it, but then we just couldn't fit in our schedule. So sorry about that. Not going to get done. But we do have our trailer reactions. And Drew accidentally posted his reaction first when he was supposed to wait till I put mine up. But whatever. But our reactions to that trailer are up.
Are you not? You're not gonna let me defend myself at all on this?
No, I heard your
Wow.
your janky story.
Okay, my janky story, in my defense, is that when I typically upload it from Twitch, I do it private. And for some reason, it wasn't private. And I didn't get notified on my phone or anything until I saw Jeremiah's go up. And I was like, sweet. And I was going to message Jeremiah, like, hey, can you unprivate mine? And then I picked him up in the car, and because we went to go see Star Wars on May 4th, which was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And yeah, mine was already up. So then...
And of course he has like 5 times more views than me, but that's okay.
He was like not gonna even get in the car. He was gonna walk because he was so mad.
That was a long way to Rosedale.
So he was like, nah.
I got over it pretty quick. But yeah, go check those reactions out. And so we're less than a month away from Acolyte, so we're super excited for that. But also, we kind of been talking about it in previous episodes, but we just kind of want to say at the start of an episode just so everyone hears. So in 2 weeks, we are doing a book review of Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. So if you have not read that, or if you need a refresher and reread it again or whatever, go read that book. Go get caught up with that book, because we'll be doing a breakdown review of that in 2 weeks.
Or if you just don't want to and you just want to listen to us talk about it, then that's fine too.
Yep, that's fine too. But also, finally, we had, which is weird that it didn't drop on Star Wars Day, but a couple of days ago, a new Lego show /
it dropped
special.
The next day, right?
It was like Monday or something.
Oh yeah, Monday, yeah.
But it's a Lego, I guess it's a 4-part thing. It's not a movie. I guess it's a 4-part.
Oh, I thought it was a movie.
I thought it was too, but it all releases in one day, so it's basically a movie. I don't know why. It's just a movie broken up into 4 parts. But it's Legos, Star Wars Legos Rebuild the Galaxy, and it was a teaser trailer. I should have done a reaction to it.
Me too. I was so mad
because it was so good, only a minute long. But it's basically like a Star Wars take on like a multiverse, like
what if / Lego.
And so like all the things in the galaxy are being like getting messed up and reversed, and like Ewoks are bounty hunters, and the Republic has walkers, AT-ATs. And I can't believe what they introduced at the end of this trailer I can't believe Star Wars would actually do this, but walking off of a ship was Darth Jar Jar.
Not any ship either.
It was a black Millennium Falcon.
Falcon, yeah. It was a black,
So,
dark Millennium Falcon.
so that is we've always wanted Star Wars to make fun of itself, and they took the fan theory of Darth Jar Jar, and
So dope.
it's not canon. This is
I know, but
a made up story that they're just doing for fun. But I'm so happy Star Wars is doing that, and voiced by Ahmad Best too. So the GOAT is back doing Jar Jar as Darth Jar Jar. So that's super cool. And so this is coming out in September 13th. And so I think so it's like a 4-piece. They call it not a 4-part, a 4-piece because it's Legos. So
I just now got that.
So I'm guessing it's just 4 like short episodes or whatever, and there's gonna like be equal to like an hour or something like that. That'd be cool. But we'll definitely be doing a breakdown of that story in September, so keep watch for that. But that's all the news we have and announcements. So let's jump into a Q&A that we had from last week. So spoilers if you have not watched Bad Batch season finale of season 3, series finale, because this question is about that. So come back in a couple minutes, and then we'll be back on to.
Or if you're in live stream, mute until I'll give you the thumbs up. How about that?
Yep. All right. So question was, will we ever see Omega's story continue? If so, animated show, live action, in a show movie, or in a book comic or comics? So we got a bunch of responses. Addie says, yes, we will see her again. Her story has yet to be finished. I may be biased, but I'd love her to come to live action in a few years. It's been my dream to play her, and I'm
not listen.
And I'm not giving up now. So there's that from Eddie. Joseph Dawkinson says, I think we will see Omega when she is older, like Luke's age in the first half of New Hope, in a special episode of a live action series. Dazdor says, yes, the 3D model looks great, and we need more of her in her prime. Live action would be cool too. O says they will get Claudia Gray to make a trilogy during the original trilogy movies. That'd be kind of cool.
Claudia Gray.
Have
her write it?
Yeah, that's what O says.
Yes, please. Dude, she's the best writer. Sorry, Timothy Zahn, I love you to death. You're like a grandpa to me. But Claudia Gray is the GOAT. Just putting that there.
That's a hot take.
It's a hot take.
She's good, but a lot of people are gonna disagree with you. But Aaliyah says an animated series about Omega in the rebellion could be awesome if it's done well. Red Buff, who's in the chat, I believe.
Yeah, you said he did. This is his first one.
I think he's.
That's what he said.
I'm pretty sure.
I did my first Spotify queue.
I think he's been in there before.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Whatever.
I could be wrong. He says, yes, it will be a book where she, as a rebel, must stop Bobo from an assignment affecting the rebellion.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
In doing so, she finds out that they are related, and about Jango Fett's deal using his DNA. Mr. Artie says, no, not unless there is a story about Rex, but she might show up in a future show set around the time of or in the Mandalorian culmination movie, maybe even interacting with Grogu. Mm-hmm. And finally, Ed, who, based on his comment, is someone in the Discord that I didn't realize, and we've been reading his answers a little bit here and there. But he says she's definitely returns in the live action Mandoverse, but I could see her popping up in another animated show too. Florence Pugh needs to play her regardless of the Star Wars math and age, because Ed and we had a discussion about Star Wars math and her age. And so
Jeremiah loves Star Wars.
I love Star Wars
you
math.
guys don't know this by now. Jeremiah is all about his Star Wars math.
So at the start of Mando season 1, the Mandoverse, Omega would be about 41 years old. So an actress would need to be early to mid 40s to play her in the Mandoverse. And you saw the picture that there is a actress who is early 40s who is in the up and coming mystery show Skeleton Crew.
Yep.
And some people are speculating that this could be Omega in live action.
For some reason, when I sent that over, I thought that was this voice actor of Omega. I don't think it is.
No, because the actor is an Asian woman.
Oh,
from New Zealand.
cool.
Michelle Ang, I believe her name is. But yes, this actress is a correct age, and it takes place during the Mandoverse. So I'm not saying there's a strong possibility.
I think it's pretty strong.
And Skeleton Crew was supposed to come out last fall, or at the end of the year last year or whatever, and it didn't. And maybe it's because they wanted to wait to finish Bad Batch,
which makes sense.
So it wouldn't spoil if she survived or whatever. Well, obviously no one thought she was going to get killed off, but we'll have to find out. We don't know when that show's coming out. It's probably going to be after Acolyte, the next live action show, because next one.
I think it's going to come out November or something.
Probably.
Or October.
Probably it'll be this fall.
They gave us this Lego thing to kind of fill some gaps. We got Tales right away, so we didn't get any gap really. And then now we have we're gonna get another show in a month,
and then we're gonna get mid July.
Yeah,
and then we don't have anything after that.
And then we get Lego, and then it makes sense to get Skeleton Crew. This is gonna suck for me. I'm just saying right now. I've been messing this up for 3 years now that this show's been announced.
It's been a lot longer than that.
Jeez.
But yeah, so that's the theories. That's the Q&A. That's everyone. So it's going to be cool to see how it plays out. But we won't know until it happens. So I really hope that we don't get spoiled in a trailer. We just see her in the trailer, but we don't have any official names. But then in the show as we're watching, hi, my name's Omega. But we'll just have to wait and find out. But you're not here for speculation. You're here for Barriss. Because we've been speculating for 11 years on what happened to her. I looked it up. It was literally March 2013 when the season 5 of Clone Wars ended. And that was the last time we saw her. So we're here. Everyone wants to know what happened. Everyone wants to know what our thoughts are. So Drew, you've watched the 3 episodes. What were your overall thoughts on this Barriss arc and her story?
I liked it. It was good. I wanted more. I don't know. I just felt like it kind of was mediocre.
Oh, that's a hot take.
In the sense of I just wanted something more. The first episode, I thought I wanted to see her become darker and then change, but it was pretty quick. She was already wanting to not be a part of what she was doing. So I didn't really like that. I thought I don't know, she was part of the Empire for 16 minutes or something. You know what I mean? I wanted more for it. So I just felt yeah, we were waiting for this character and we wanted this thing so bad. And then she turned bad. She killed this Jedi that she apparently knows and that she grew up with essentially in the Jedi Order. She kills this dude pretty quickly. She's bad. She bows to Vader, and then the next episode she's already trying not to do it. So I don't know. I just felt it kind of felt unsatisfying completely to me. I just wanted more.
But did you enjoy what we got?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, for sure. But I just think it wasn't enough. Like maybe if she was not struggling more with like picking a side, but didn't really feel like she struggled. I don't know. Maybe you felt like she did, but for me, it just didn't really feel like it. It felt like she was already like pushing against the grain, and like if she was with any other Inquisitor person besides that girl, she would have been probably already killed because everything that she was like rebelling against or like questioning and stuff, like she probably would have already got killed by another Inquisitor. So
Maybe.
I don't know. It wasn't my favorite out of the Tales of the Empire. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I see what you're saying about wanting more. I get that. Um, and I think the way they set it up, I think we could be getting more of that eventually someday.
Mm.
Um, but like of what we got, I really really liked. Like I don't want to spoil for next week's with the Morgan stuff, but I thought the Barriss stuff was 10 times better than the Morgan stuff.
Ooh, interesting. Oh,
And
next
so
week's gonna be fun.
next week will be fun. But like, um, I think that there's there's a lot of details that they glossed over that I wanted to be more. They should have done the 6 episodes of just Barris. Like I would have
That's
been
what I'm saying. Like,
like I would have rather had that than because with the Morgan stuff, it was a little underwhelming, and so
oh,
like there was some cool parts with the Morgan stuff, but it was a
and
story that didn't really matter because we kind of know what her fate is, and like, but
yeah,
like with Barriss, like we've been wanting to know what happened to her for 11 years. Like we all knew that she was probably an Inquisitor, just because she was imprisoned and she like couldn't escape or run away or anything, so she's just available. Um, but like I see what you're saying about like she turned good again, but I think we gotta understand that she's been sitting in a prison cell for a year maybe, and so she's had time to reflect. And when the Jedi Temple we see is getting bombed, like we never saw the bombing of the Jedi Temple and explosions, but like we actually see that here when she's watching from a distance from her window, which I thought was really cool. But like she was already like torn about it and like upset about it and worried about what was happening there. So like she's not like bad from when she got
yeah. So
arrested.
like, and
and
that's what I kind of didn't like
and like why?
because like I'm not believing that they would have picked her to be an Inquisitor.
But they picked her because she had issues with the Jedi and she's already killed a Jedi and like she fought against the Jedi.
Yeah,
And so like she was already, and the thing is it wasn't like, oh, you're in, like she had to prove herself. Like they tested her, they trained her. Like it's not like she was just automatically in. They just like, we gotta find who can be part of the Inquisitorius. We got this girl Barriss in a prison cell. She's a candidate. She could flop right away, or she could be good. Like we don't know. Like this is a whole new program. They don't have like a seasoned
well, and
thing.
it kind of shows you how weak the Inquisitors are.
Well, yeah, because they're all new. Like
Yeah.
they're not going to be strong because they're just embracing the dark side for the first time, and they're being conflicted with their Jedi teachings, which we see
I
Barriss
just think
do.
it just happened too quick.
And so I think because she was already like had time to like feel bad about what she did, and I feel like we see her being taught lessons in the second episode by the fourth sister or Lynn. Um, like she doesn't know what's going on with the Empire. She doesn't
Hmm.
know. Like she's like, oh, the new Empire. What's the Empire? Like she doesn't know anything, and so she's learning it as she's going along. And so like when they're on what seems to be like her first mission, like in the second episode, she's very like trying to learn. Like she's kind of thinking, oh, these are like separatist type people, like they're rebelling against the Empire, but she doesn't know that the Empire is evil because she has no context. And so when she's actually on what seems to be her first mission, like she's going on it as if she were a Jedi because that's all she knows. And so she's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, like there's no evidence that there's a Jedi in here based on the report, or like, how she's so compassionate towards that little kid. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's acting like a Jedi, so when evil things happen, like she realized like, oh, I'm in something that's evil. Like I didn't know I was signing up for this, even though she had to fight her.
That's what I'm saying.
But like a lot of
I
people
think,
would do the same thing, whether you're
yeah, but for me, like, that's what I didn't like. I wish they would have made her evil and then have a change of heart. But instead, she was in jail and she got forced into this. And it was either she dies, because like even when she fought the kid, she was like, "We don't have to do this. They're not going to kill us." And they're like, "Well, they already killed our friend, so they're going to kill us. So I'm going to kill you first." And then she just kills him, and they're like, "All right, cool. Now you're part of this." And it's like, what?
I just don't. Well, first of all,
It
it's
wasn't
been.
believable.
I think it's believable because of what I said. But also, it's been 11 years, and so like you don't aren't fresh off of like seeing her be evil when she murdered Jedi and framed
True.
Ahsoka and tried to kill Anakin. And like, if you were to watch that, watch like binge watch, Clone Wars, and then you watch this episode of these episodes of Barriss, it's gonna flow more seamlessly, and you're gonna see, oh, she's evil, and then she gets kind of like sucked into this thing. She doesn't know. Honestly, she has no idea what this thing is about. Like, she just doesn't get it because like it's
Which,
so new. Like,
and
I,
that's my
but I think
issue with
that's,
that.
but I think that's what everyone was though in the program. They didn't know what was going on, and I think. But how do you know? You don't know what the Empire is. She
But all
literally
the
didn't.
other, yeah, no, no, no. I understand with her character, but like all the other ones did. I just wish they would have made it, if they would have just made her evil, made her like embrace this evil that her other sisters are doing. And then she did this mission, and then she saw like, well, why are we killing all these people? And then she changed. So like my issue is like honestly just with the first
But
episode,
but
I
if
just
she
feel
was
like
evil, then she wouldn't have that instant change though. Then she's not really evil if you have an instant
I
change after
but I
one day
think
on the job.
okay, but I mean, if they would have just killed all those people, and then the Inquisitor lady would have tried to make her kill that kid, and then she refused to do that, they could have done it. It would have had the same impact, same amount of timeline. It just to me would have flown better because like she instantly didn't want to be bad. I'm like, "What- you
But I don't think she.
portrayed Ahsoka and you were bad, and now you're good."
Yeah.
I don't know. It just it
What about
felt
but
like
what about every single person that was ever in the Empire that defected to the rebellion? They were evil, and then like one thing happened, and they changed it. Kind of like Agent Callus when he was stranded with Zeb in that cave. Like it was really one day he went from evil to good. One little thing,
But my thing is she was never evil when it came to the Inquisitors, and I didn't like that.
but like
Like she,
the whole way that the Empire works is to think that you're doing good. Like you don't think you're being evil.
yes,
You think you're doing morally good things, like you're promoting peace and bringing order to the galaxy. But then when you actually
but I
see,
don't. I feel like she never believed that because like it made you think that like as soon as all the Jedi's died and she was dreaming, she heard all their cries. Like I feel like at that point she was already good. Like right there, and she's good. So she joined. Like she was part of this empire. She was already like, I don't know about this. Right away, she goes on her first mission, and she's already like, wait, but if we put fear in people, they're not going to like us. Like it's like, yes, but you're not supposed to know that yet. You're supposed to wait a little bit. I don't know. It just felt too fast. And like, I mean, to your point, they would have gave us 6 episodes of this. I think I would have loved it.
well, I think the 6 episodes, not like more towards after episode 2, after the second episode rather than before
Well, but
the
even if
second
they got
episode.
2 episodes of, like, her training and embracing the dark side and, like, doing that, I think that would've, like, helped a little bit.
I don't know. I thought it was good because she was never. I guess she killed the Jedi and framed Ahsoka, but like it was for a good reason. Like she saw like Dooku, like he joined the Sith thinking that he was gonna do good and bring peace and order to the galaxy, but it wasn't until after the fact that he realized he like got in over his head, like with Tales of the Jedi when he had to fight Yaddle.
Mhm.
Like in those moments, like he had to like figure out like the galaxy can be turned reformed into something better, but the Jedi are standing in the way, and then so like he's kind of like torn, and he joins the Sith not to be evil, but to do something good. And I think
Mhm.
that with this with the Inquisitorius, like Barriss like doesn't have the context that the Inquisitorius is evil. Like
But I think it almost seemed like I know this is not what they're trying to come across, but it felt like to me she joined it or she was gonna die.
well, it
She
was
didn't wanna die,
because
so
that's literally what they did because they put their guns pointed at her and said yes or no to joining us.
mhm. So it didn't really feel like she wanted to join them.
Right, but she didn't know what was
And all
happening.
I'm
That's my
saying
point. She doesn't know.
yeah, but all I'm saying is if we woulda got a story arc of she actually wanted to do the join them, it would've flown better to me.
But I think it was that because what does it say in this the cell? Like when Lynn goes to see her right away, it says you were right. The Jedi are murderers because they tried to murder Palpatine.
Mhm.
So like she thinks that her assessment that the Jedi were evil and doing bad things was correct, and she's like, well, now we have an opportunity for you to do good, the opposite of being like a Jedi. And so like yes, she didn't really have a choice either. She was like join or die, but it was also based on the premise of you were right. Let's do this together and be better than the Jedi. So like I I think it was she was good already and she thought she was doing good, and obviously they're going to lie to her.
Mhm.
And so like she didn't know what was going on when she went on that first mission. She's like, okay, we're the good guys. We're going in. We're gonna treat
Yeah.
these people fairly.
She was blinded for sure.
And then literally right away, first mission, she sees the worst thing she's ever seen in her whole entire life. And
Talk about a wake-up call.
and then she's like asking questions, and they're talking about like in the second episode, and then she just like doesn't get it. Like why are we trying to kill this Jedi? Like I don't get it. Like so obviously they didn't teach her, like they didn't give her the correct information to like make a proper decision. They just gave her enough to
Mhm.
like join them.
Yeah.
But let's go scene by scene. So we're doing all 3 episodes tonight, and so they're kind of short. The second one was the shortest one, but um,
It didn't feel like it though. Like,
right.
I don't know.
I think the Barriss episodes in total were longer than the Morgan ones in total, like minutes
Were they
wise.
really? I can look.
I think just by like total of 5 minutes or something like that. But first episode of the Barriss arc called Devoted. So, episode starts out black screen. You hear screams and explosions, and I think a couple lightsaber swings, blah blah blah. And she wakes up like in a panic and sweat, and she hears explosions in the distance while she's in her jail cell. And she looks up at the little, slit of a window, and you can see the Jedi Temple in the distance. And there's explosions, which, like I mentioned earlier, like we never saw. Like we saw like the aftermath, like I think in episode 3 and stuff with like smoke coming out, but like we were like we never saw that aspect.
Mhm.
And so it was bombed somehow. So we don't know what that context is. Like was it a huge group of Jedi like were running out, and ships on the outside were bombing them on the outside. Like we don't know, but she sees that and she just like panics and is like, guards, guards, guards! Like what's going on? And she's like yelling out for them, and they come like, I forget exactly what they say, but they're like, basically everything's under control, and you're lucky you're no longer a Jedi because by tomorrow there won't
There
be
won't
any.
be.
Which I thought was a kind of cool line.
So it's in total longer by a minute.
That's it?
Yeah, so like the first episode for the Morgan one is 16, the second one's 14, the last one's 13. For this one, the first one's 16, the second one's 12, and then the last one's 16. So it's like, it's like they had one more minute longer.
Okay. And so then seemingly the next day it's raining on Coruscant, which I don't think we've ever seen rain on Coruscant before. Like, isn't Coruscant supposed to be weather controlled where it doesn't?
I think we have, no?
I don't know. Like, we've seen clouds and stuff. But I don't remember seeing rain.
Well, I mean, if it's weather controlled, they controlled that it has to rain.
You're telling me if you could control the weather, you wouldn't be sunny and 75 every day?
But you still need rain. I mean,
rain. There's no plants. It's all buildings.
True, but maybe they need to
the only
boost
tree
their water supply.
the only tree is the one in the Jedi Temple, and spoiler alert, it's probably got burned down.
That's a good point. Because what's that? There's a country that like they literally make their own water.
I don't think that's a thing.
It is a thing.
Like they take hydrogen and oxygen and spray it into each other.
They literally shoot it in. They like shoot water into the they shoot it into the clouds and it creates water. And they have the same.
So they put water in the clouds so it rains. They're not creating water from.
No, yeah, no.
Okay,
but
it
different. Rains. It's in Abu Dhabi. That's what it is. In Abu Dhabi, every single day it rains at the same exact time every single day. They shoot water into the. They like shoot this like. There's like a whole thing about it. It's kind of cool, but
I'm sure it is.
It is kind of cool.
But raining at Coruscant, we see some lat ships come in, and we see what you would recognize as the fourth sister, who is from, we see her first in the Kenobi series, live action. So then seeing her in cartoon, I should say animated. All right, cool. We're going to get more of her story because I don't even think she said one word.
She was just in the background.
Just standing in the background behind like.
Which now I kind of wish we'd have got her story arc a lot more in that show.
Yeah. So she comes in and Barriss is like, Lynn. Like, okay, her name's Lynn. She knows her. She's just wearing like robe type thing, like not like Jedi robes, but like a long thing that goes down too close to the floor. And she's like, things have changed. And Barriss like asks about the council, and Lynn is like, basically, there's like, that's not a concern anymore. You were right about the Jedi. They are about violence and all that stuff because they tried to assassinate the emperor, or the chancellor at the time would have been. And she's like surprised by that, like, what, like blah blah blah. But she's like, well, I have an opportunity for you, and it was basically join us if you want. But then like when she was given a decision, she looked at the two clone troopers there and they had their guns ready. And she's like, yeah, I'll join you, or else I'm gonna die right now. So again, like we were just debating earlier, like she doesn't know what's going on. Jedi Temple just got destroyed. She doesn't know what's going on. So she's just like, all right, I'll go with you. So then after this, they go to the planet, or I should say the moon, Nur, which, if you know your Star Wars astronomy, that red planet in the distance was Mustafar. So that's kind of cool if you didn't know that. So the Inquisitorius is on Nur, which is this next to Mustafar, which is kind of cool. It's like a water planet and then a lava planet, and so that's kind of cool. If you didn't know that, and they arrive, and the Inquisitorius building facility is being built because we've seen it in Kenobi and Rebels.
I want to say
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
because
it was.
how did we know about it
think
in Kenobi?
I think it was Rebels. Yes, and so this is being built. It's barely out of the water, and everyone that's working there is in orange jumpsuits. So like it's prisoners. They're already using prisoner labor to build this thing, and she walks into. She's led into the building, and there's two other Jedi that she knows, Dante and Amar. And so they know each other all. So Barriss is like she's between the ages of Ahsoka and Anakin. So Anakin is 22 at this point, and so I think she's like 20 or something like that. And then these other two guys, they seem to be about the same age, like late teens, early 20s type of thing. And the Grand Inquisitor comes in. What did you think about the Grand Inquisitor? So looks a lot more like Rebels Inquisitor than the Kenobi version, but it's still a different art style. So what do you think?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I kind of wish they would have leaned a little bit in the middle, kind of like what they did with Thrawn's character. Like Thrawn looks a lot different than he did in the Rebels show.
Right.
And to kind of look more like live action Thrawn, I kind of wish they would have done something similar to that, considering live action Grand Inquisitor looks way different. But it kind of is, he looks a little different. Like his head's not too round, like pointy and round up,
Yeah, it's
like
not as long or tall or long
tall.
as
So,
it is in Rebels. So it's a little bit. It's still more oval shaped than
mhm.
in Kenobi, which is like super circular.
Which I like looking at him, like, why wouldn't they just add just a head cap?
I don't know, and it's because like you see, because he's Utapaulian, which is the alien species from Episode 3,
Yeah.
and they do it with prosthetics and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's just with fighting and stuff. Like you don't want it like wobbling back and forth. I don't know.
I don't know. Like they could have done it. I think they just I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever. So Grand Inquisitor comes in. He's like, "Welcome, blah blah blah. We're gonna start a new coven, which is an interesting word. Like we're gonna be our own new little posse." And he mentions the Empire, and I think it was Barriss was like, "What Empire?" And then the Grand Inquisitor is like, takes the line from Episode 3. The Republic has been reorganized into the first galactic empire, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody clapped, but they're like, okay. And he's like, all right, well, you guys can go back to your quarters, but until we see each other next, I recommend you don't leave. I was like, that doesn't sound good. Which I should have, maybe I've thought of this before, but I just don't remember. But I'm assuming the reason why the Inquisitorius is surrounded by water is it's kind of like Alcatraz. Like, so you can't escape. Like, you're just kind of trapped there. Like, if a Jedi were brought there, or
Yeah, it's like kind of like the gel and Andor.
yeah, Narkina 5. Um,
Like you're kind of stuck.
yep. Hopefully, you can swim.
I can't. Oh, bro.
Well,
I'm rewatching that show.
I like how the last episode of this arc is the way out and not one way out. Like it could have been one way out. Like they could have went with that because it was still one way out. That was seemed to be implied, but whatever. So they get sent back to their quarters, and Amar, he's like, "This is stupid. I'm leaving." And Barriss is like, "I wouldn't do that if I were you," because she's probably the oldest of the. Seems like
Mm-hmm.
and the wisest. And he's like, whatever, I'm leaving. And so the next day or whatever, the fourth sister / Lynn shows up. All right, come with me. And then they get brought to the Grand Inquisitor. And I can't remember if they asked or if they just brought it up, but he's like, your friend had an accident. And he throws a kyber crystal with a little blood stain on it. So, like, did they give him a saber? Like, all right, let's see what you're made of, type of thing.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that part.
So, like,
Maybe they're like, all right, well, you're gonna fight, and they gave him a saber.
yeah. So, but he got killed, probably, we're assuming, because there's blood on that thing. So the kyber crystal was thrown at the ground. They saw, all right, he's dead. And so then the two Jedi, Barriss and what's his name, Dante, go separate ways. Dante goes with Lynn, and Barriss goes with the Grand Inquisitor. And so it's like a training room, and it's the Grand Inquisitor and Barriss, and he's like, the Jedi did not teach you to embrace your full power, basically, blah blah blah. They limit your power, and gives her a lightsaber and is like, all right, attack me. And she's like, but you're not armed. He's like, I don't need to be. Which this was some good foreshadowing for the final episode, what comes next. And she goes and tries to attack, and he's just moving to the side and dodging and all that stuff. And he's like, you're fighting like a Jedi. Don't be a Jedi. Like, go different, blah, blah, blah. And he's just kind of egging her on and trying to make her angry and frustrated. And so as he's egging her on, she gets better. And she's like, good, good. And she does get a hit on his shoulder pad, like tricep pad or whatever, which I thought was cool. Would have been crazy if like she like actually killed him. Like, what do we do now?
That would have been nuts.
But
we've never seen him die, right? Or does he die in Rebels? I don't remember.
Kanan kills him.
Oh, he does die.
Well, he's like hanging off an edge, and then he's like goes and he falls into the fire below, and he's dead.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't know, when people fall in Star Wars, once again, they don't die.
Then, but he shows up later, but he's like, it's implied it's like a vision, force vision type thing. Like when Kanan is fighting him in the temple, Jedi temple.
Oh yeah.
But that was kind of like a force vision hallucination.
So he must get a lot stronger from this point to Rebels, clearly.
Well, yeah, it's
because she was holding her own. Granted, he didn't have a saber or anything, so.
And I wasn't really worried about him. Like,
well, obviously not.
He's the Grand Inquisitor for a reason. Like, we still don't know. I don't think we know any where he came from or whatever. We know he was a Jedi, but
I want Tales of the Empire Grand Inquisitor.
Tales of the Inquisitors, which is a story we should get, or we get his story because he was. It's implied that he was a temple guard.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fact that he's already the Grand Inquisitor goes to show that,
like that day,
like it's implied. I'm not unless it's in that Rise of the Red Blade book that we're going to be reading eventually. Because unless we get more story about him in there, I don't know. Don't spoil us if you're.
Yeah, don't say anything, chat.
But yeah, so they're just sparring basically, and then he force pushes her up to the ceiling, and she crashes down. And this is when she has the bloody.
It almost sounded like she had broke her back, dude.
Maybe, but
wasn't her bloody nose from when she got punched in the face?
I don't know. She got up off the floor and she had a bloody nose, so it might have been, but it just didn't start bleeding until she got pushed up to the ceiling. But then he's basically, you're weak, blah blah blah, and then she gets up and force pushes him back and hits the wall, and he wipes his nose, but like I don't know how he broke his nose either, but whatever. And he's like, good. And the next scene, which probably is, I'm assuming, if some time has passed or whatever, because she goes to this battle arena type thing when Dante comes in and he says, "You both have impressed us and have proven yourself." And so it seems like it was a sometime, whether it's a few days or a few weeks or something of them training and learning. Um, and it's like a big giant donut where it's a hole in the middle and then it's a circle on the outside or whatever. And he's like, "Well, you guys gotta fight. There's only room for one of you, and so you don't have to fight if you don't want to, but whoever survives wins." And so then some like a force field goes on the outside and
Yeah,
starts
because then they say you don't
circling
have to
in.
fight if you don't want to, but then you'll both die.
Yeah. And so the force field comes down and starts shrinking in, which I thought was really an interesting thing as like a parallel, because in Tales of the Jedi, with
Mhm.
one of Ahsoka's stories, when she's training in the Jedi Temple with little like training droids or whatever, she's also has a force field around her getting smaller and smaller. And then here, Barriss is experiencing the same thing, and so it's like a parallel between those two, like cause they're friends, and but they're kind of experiencing and having the same experiences, but on the opposite ends of the spectrum, which I thought was cool.
Mhm.
And so they start fighting, and at first Barriss is like, "I don't want to fight you," but Dante's like, "Whatever. They already killed one of us." Like, because Barriss is like, "They're not gonna kill us. They need us." And he's like, "Well, you already killed one of us, so I'm gonna fight you." And they're fighting. There's one lightsaber that the Grand Inquisitor threw in with red blade, and Barriss is kind of getting her butt whooped a little bit, and then Dante is about to kill her with the lightsaber, and she embraces the dark side and force chokes him. Not just force chokes him, but breaks his neck,
Mhm.
and he falls down into the abyss. And I was like, "Dang it!" But they go down to her like, "Welcome to the family, sister." Basically, you're part of the family now. And right after that, she goes into where she met earlier in the episode with the other Jedi, former Jedi, and she gets introduced kind of to the other Inquisitors, and she's like, "Come in, come in, brothers and sisters, or whatever." And the Grand Inquisitor says that, and so uh, we got the fourth sister, Lynn, was there. We also get Marek, which is from the Ahsoka series, so which is kind of interesting because it seems that he was revived. That's not so like what's his story? Where did he come from? Like how did he end up under witch death Mirian witch spell where he's reanimated from death? Like where did he die? Type of thing.
Mhm.
But also the Jedi from or the Inquisitor from Tales of the Jedi that went after Ahsoka and gets killed by Ahsoka very easily. He's
Yep.
there trying to be all cool with his Imperial cape. And um, they kneel, and he's like, "Well, let's introduce you to your new master." And Vader comes in. I'm kind of disappointed he didn't say anything.
Yeah, me too.
Like it would have been cool if he like walked like to each one, but like looked at Barriss a little bit longer than the others, because
Mhm.
he knows who she is, but she
Yep.
doesn't know who he is. Which I thought that was like one of our main theories, is like he's gonna be training her, and she's gonna recognize some of his movements because when she fought Anakin, but we never got that.
Mm-mm.
But Vader walks in, he sits down, and the Grand Inquisitor says, "Long live the Empire." And Barriss puts on her helmet that she got, which kind of looked like the assassin clone helmets that we saw in Bad Batch, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And she puts on the helmet and she says, "Long live the Empire." That was the first episode. And I thought it was a strong start. And It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just weird that like there weren't other like I'm trying to understand like we're like Marok and the other Inquisitor that Ahsoka fought, like were they also like supposed to be new or something? Because I don't know, like the whole
Aren't they all new?
like well they are all new, but
Like, this is the first time
but
Vader
like
sees any of them, I think.
but like I'm trying to understand like how the numbering system works because I think it's kind of after looking at it that it's not like oh fourth sister doesn't mean that there's three other sisters first, but
Mm-mm.
it's just she's the fourth sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? David in the Discord kind of posted a list
Inquisitors.
of like where they are and how they're numbered. I'm trying to find it. And so like the
Is there an
grand
Inquisitor list?
so like he kind of just kind of put together like how of what ones we know. But like the first brother is supposed to be the Grand Inquisitor,
Mm-hmm.
but like the second sister is girl from in Jedi Fallen Order, but also, which makes it is even more weird, is that the third sister is Riva, which
Doesn't come until way later.
like it's implied that she's found later because she escapes from the Jedi Temple and was found in the gutter.
I
But like,
wonder. I wonder if it's all about when you rank.
I don't know. Like when
Like,
you
is it like their version of master is a number? So like Barriss doesn't have a number. She's not a sister. Like she's a sister, but like they haven't really told us her number. Like they don't call her
yeah I don't there's
number
not
7 or whatever.
maybe it's explained in the Rise of the Red Blade book. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, so it's just the numbering system is weird, and we're like, well, where are all the other people? If there's the fourth one, is there like Lynn? We don't know what Marok is. We don't know. So, but like here in this list that David put, the sixth brother is the one that Jedi that Ahsoka kills in Tales of the
Mhm.
Jedi. So I don't know. It's weird.
What's the ghost brother? What is he?
The Ghost brother.
The one in the Jedi show or in the Ahsoka show that
Oh,
poofs.
Marok.
Yeah,
It's not.
he's not a number.
There's nothing listed here that David put. So like I don't even know. Like he was, we only learned about him in Ahsoka, so he's new.
Unless he's in that book.
I think if he was in that book, we would have known just because people would say, "Oh, he's from this book." Like we would have seen that.
True. But it's kind of weird too though that yeah, like but he was already this early on.
Yeah, it's.
And like is this before he dies or is this after he dies? Like is he not dead yet?
I'm assuming this is before
Yeah, I think
because
right
I don't
now
because the Empire is not doesn't know how to raise a dead body.
I think it's all Morgan does it.
Well, obviously Morgan's the one that raises from the dead, but we don't know when. But it's probably not now because she's not hasn't been recruited yet.
We need an Inquisitor. Tales of the Inquisitors. Inquisitorius, that's what they should call
Yeah,
it.
which should be cool. Like I said, like we don't need any full length
I
series
just
for a while. Like we could
no.
just do every like quarter we get like a single arc of a tale or something like, or that'd be cool. Like
Well, we haven't got any announcement of any show.
right,
The last announcement for a show was Bad Batch, and that was literally like wasn't that like right after
it was right after season 7 of
season
Clone Wars. So that
7?
was 2020.
So like we know like I feel like we would have already known about it. Or maybe they're waiting to Japan next year to announce it.
That is so long, dude. It's like a year away.
Literally more
Also,
than a year
I
away
am
'cause
surprised at how cheap those tickets were for those tickets for Japan. They went on sale last week.
they're already sold out, aren't they?
Well, the VIP ones are, but like single day tickets
Oh
are
yeah,
still
what is it,
available.
like 100 and something?
But like a 3-day pass was
Mhm.
like $155,
No way, was it really?
and then single day were like $55 each. So it's like a little bit more
What the
individual.
heck?
Cause it's Japan, it ain't America, dude.
I wonder if it's that, but I think it's, well, yeah, it's probably cheaper. Like the
Also, they
venue is
know that people
cheaper,
have to spend
and
thousands
then
of dollars to
a
fly
lot of
in.
people are not gonna fly across the entire globe to go to this thing. It's probably gonna be their lowest number, like, of, like, US people wise, I would say. Not necessarily
Right,
their lowest number, but lowest number of US
right,
participants. Because, like, anyone that I personally know, I don't know anyone that's going, even people that, like, I've interacted and, like, people online that are super Star Wars fans, like, no one's going to this one.
right.
This thing is too expensive. I mean, I would assume, like, some bigger podcasts out there, there's, like, 2,
Yeah, there's still be people that go,
they'll
but like
go, but
I don't know,
I don't have 2 grand to buy a flight ticket.
probably a lot more than that. Like,
No, I looked it up.
oh,
It's 2 grand.
but like
1,800, but still.
But like, I think it's probably just the language barrier also is big part of it. Like, unless you're like super into Japan culture, Japanese culture and stuff,
Mm,
like people don't go to Japan for tourists unless like they're already in the Japanese culture. But like going to London or whatever, where it's already the same language and everything's more accessible to an American, like more people are gonna go that way.
I'm
So,
pretty mad I didn't go to London. My friend lives there, could have literally slept on his couch.
well,
But I don't want to talk about that.
we'll hope 2026 Chicago. If you're
It
listening,
better be, dude.
Chicago. Just do it in Minneapolis. We hosted the Super Bowl a few years ago. Like we can
I
do
mean,
it.
that'd be dope. Dude, what, Minneapolis Convention Center?
Well, it's somewhere, or it could be
Or probably
Excel
XL
Center,
Center. Probably
Ex-
XL.
Excel Target. I don't know how good
Uh,
Target Center is.
Target Center is pretty small.
There's with the
XL also has, like, those other, like, rooms behind it, and, like, the other convention hall is,
right,
like, right there.
bro. I could just take the bus down. Literally like 20-minute bus ride from my house.
Or a 5-minute drive if I come pick you up. And
But
then
yeah,
all the listeners, all of our, like, close listener fans could all just crash on our floors, and that would be, like, a lot of fun. What do you mean? Then we could have fun. That'd be
okay.
dope.
We had EmpireCon last summer. And no one stayed in my apartment or your house. Like people will get their hotels.
True. That's fair. I forgot about that.
But yes, Disney, if you're listening, please be
Chicago.
stateside, Chicago. Get us some VIP free passes.
Or even LA.
If it has to be, only
I
because Andrew lives in
Florida.
LA, then he'd actually go. But
Yeah.
I'll go first choice Chicago, second choice LA, third choice Florida. I have no desire to ever step foot in Florida, so
But you're gonna come.
if
You've promised.
if it's
No,
in Orlando, I'll put all that money
we're
in.
going.
It's gonna be my one
We're going.
one
Dude.
trip that I go to. So
It's kind of how Empire Radio started. Was we almost went to Chicago.
something like that. Go listen to our episode a few weeks ago when we explained it. I was gonna clip that and like make a separate video for it, and I totally forgot.
There's still time.
But we're not here about talk about celebration. We're here for episode 2 of the Barriss arc, Realization.
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
this was a short one, but it seemed pretty full of stuff. And so let's just jump right into it. Boom! Fourth sister and Barriss are on a ship in hyperspace coming in, and they're after a target. And Barriss expresses her confusion that there's nothing in the report saying that it is actually a Jedi that we're after. But Lynn is like, the Grand Inquisitor wouldn't put us on this if it wasn't a Jedi. He knows what he's doing. Okay, fine. He's like, this target is helping a rebel cell, and we need to stop it. And that's our mission. We're just going to do it. So they land, at a town that has been destroyed. I think it's implied that the Empire went in and bombed it, and
I would
then
assume so.
and then Barriss and Lynn are going in kind of after that. But there's like people like in the rubble and stuff like looking at them as they walk through town and kind of like what's going on. Pretty rough town. No one has anything. And Barriss is like, how is the Empire allowing this? How is the Emperor allowing like such suffering? Like we're supposed to be helping these people. And
Oh,
Lynn is
honey.
Lynn is like, well, it's because they're rebelling against us that we had to push back, and it's their own doing. But if they stop rebelling, you know, we'll allow them to prosper. And Barriss is like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But she kind of is like, this is still messed up. And so they get into like kind of like the heart of the village where they're like a bunch of people like in a rubble destroyed building or whatever. And there's like an older gentleman, which I think in the credits he's referred to as like the governor or whatever. So he's like their leader, I guess.
Mm.
Um, and Lynn is like, "Where is the Jedi?" Um, and as she's talking to this governor and the people in the crowd, Barriss sees a little girl in the distance, or off to the side or whatever, and like goes to talk to the little girl and kind of like, "Do you know where the Jedi is?" And the kid's scared, and she takes off her helmet and is like, "Is this better?" Like, "Hey, I'm just a regular person. Like, hey, let's just talk." Like, blah blah blah. So that's going on, and then Lynn is like really getting like conspiracy theory about the Jedi. Like, the Jedi, they can control you with their mind and make you do things that you don't want to do, and they're dangerous. And it goes back to Barriss talking to the kid, and like, do you know where is there a Jedi here? And you can trust me. We're here to help. Blah blah blah. And the girl is like saying that the Jedi are in the mountains or whatever. And so the governor's like, I promise there was no Jedi here. So then when Barriss comes out, she's like, sister, in the mountains. And she starts walking to leave. Barriss starts to leave out of this destroyed building or whatever. And the Inquisitor is like, well, you gave me your word and you lied to
Well,
us.
she locked him in there. So you think that for a second, you think she's mad at Barriss. A
Right.
brief second.
And so then she kills the governor with her lightsaber. I'm like, okay, cool. We've seen this before. Let's move on. And honestly, this might be one of the darkest scenes in all of Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, I was shocked when I watched this. Like, I couldn't believe it. You don't see it. You just hear it and you see some of the blade because it's like from the outside of the building, and you just kind of see like just above head level is where the wall of the building is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just see flashes and screamings and slashes, and everyone, there's probably 30 people in that building or
A
something.
lot.
And she's just killing everyone. And Barriss then jumps like Barriss, like backing up and like being shocked, and like the kid runs to Barriss for like protection. And I couldn't believe it. Like, what were your thoughts, Drew, when you saw this happening?
My whole thing was like, is she gonna kill this kid? I'm gonna be pissed. Like the entire time, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, what are you gonna do now? Like, you're gonna do something to this poor kid. Luckily, she doesn't.
But you weren't shocked by the scene of everyone getting killed?
I mean, I was, yeah. Like that was pretty intense, and like, but I kind of knew that she was like edgy, like she wasn't not gonna do anything. Like you would think though that she would just kill the one dude and then everyone else would be scared, but she literally just kills the entire people. But I think it's because she thinks that they're all part of that rebel cell, so she kind of like had to.
Right. And so the kid runs to Barriss, and it's all done. And the Inquisitor Lynn, she kind of reaches out towards him, and Barriss is about to like step up and like protect this kid, but she moves to block where she used to block the doorway. And then Inquisitor, as she's walking by Barriss, looks at Barriss, like kind of stares like with anger and annoyance in her face, like, why are you looking at me like that? Why do you got an issue? You got a problem type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's like the kid didn't get killed because he's or she's the one that like did
They're
the
the
right
ones that
thing.
did the right thing. Yeah.
So that's why the girl was spared, kind of like to show Barriss a lesson. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you go against us, we're gonna kill you, but if you support us, we'll let you live, type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And so the girl wants to look back into the building, and Barriss takes her kind of helmet, like, don't look, and kind of takes her out of the building. So I at this point I was still shocked. Like, I couldn't believe, because like I said, I think this is like one of the darkest moments in all of Star Wars. Like, we know that Anakin kills all the younglings in that one scene in Episode 3, but like
That's
it's
definitely the dark.
just implied. Like, you don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but this one, like, you don't see anything, but it's like it's there, like, you know what's going on, type of thing, and it's just super terrible. So it's kind of seared in my mind, I guess. But after this, it goes to Barriss and Lynn kind of taking a trek into the mountains to go find this Jedi. And this is like where Barriss like is taking what she was taught, but like seeing disconnect in what was actually happening. Like, the Inquisitorius were supposed to bring order, not chaos. Like, what we just did was chaos. But Lynn was like, well, the rebels are causing chaos, so by eliminating them, we're bringing order. And like, they're stopping chaos by stopping rebels. And Barriss is still confused, like, but like, fear will cause there to be rebellion. So if they fear us, like, that's bad. But Lynn is like, but if we show them our strength, they will respect us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is where like Barriss was told a certain thing about like how good they are, but like not because this is like seems like to be like her first mission. Like, she doesn't really know.
She doesn't really understand.
She wasn't told that, like, yeah, we're actually bad guys. Like, we're gonna. So like, she's just kind of like super confused and whatever. So then it jumps to them climbing the side of a mountain, and they're just climbing up, and then some rocks start falling, little pebbles here and there, and then a bunch of big rocks start falling. And so like, I knew it was happening. I knew that probably the Jedi pushed us over, but like, I didn't catch it till the second time I watched. But when the rocks are falling and there's a scene of like the camera like looking up towards the top, you actually see the Jedi looking
Mm-hmm.
down. That was
Yeah.
to see what was happening. So
Very quick though.
yeah, like 3 frames, but I caught it the second time. And so Barriss is further down than Lynn. And so when Barriss gets to the top, she sees Lynn fighting this Jedi with I think it was a blue lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like super like fog. Like, they've been doing this thing a lot with fog and stuff. Tons of fog, but like, it's cool, like glowing. And like, I was thinking about this, how, we got Ahsoka versus Dooku, or sorry, Ahsoka versus Maul in season 7 of the Clone Wars, and then we see Dooku versus Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi season 1, and those are like the last two like lightsaber duels that we got. Really?
Mm.
Like, am I missing something? Oh, we got Kenobi, but like this was like the first like fight that we've gotten in a long time, and it was actually
Well, the Ahsoka one too. That one had a Inquisitor fight.
yeah, yeah. But he was a chump though. Like it wasn't like a flat. I'm talking like a flashy fight that looks cool. Like this one like looked cool. It reminded me a lot of that Visions season 2
Mm-hmm.
with the like the Indian
Yeah.
one. It kind of reminded me had some of that kind of feel like
But did we? Was Ahsoka fought in her show a lot?
I guess.
Like a lot, a
This
lot.
one just seemed like
And
it was.
Anakin, she fought Anakin,
I know, but
wasn't
I feel like this one was like it was more like
like Clone Wars episode 3, episode
like
1 fighting.
kind of, but like just like the visual presentation of it, like the flashiness. Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the lightsabers in like Ahsoka with like season 7 of Clone Wars, it was just like more like concentrated color, like much more brighter sabers.
Dude, that is still probably the best lightsaber duel. It's definitely up there.
It's up there, but I like this one. I thought there was a lot of cool. I thought it was better than a lot of stuff we got in Rebels with Kanan and
Yeah.
Ezra versus Inquisitors. Like this one was more like fluid, like but with like in Rebels it was more like hit, 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 hit. But
Mm-hmm.
this one was more artistic. They put more style in the choreography. Um, I really thought it was cool how Barriss, when she got like pushed back or whatever, like she spun her blade and like put it in the ground and like just catch herself. I thought that was kind of cool. So, did you like it as much as me, or was it just whatever?
No, I liked it. I thought it was good. Like this part of the episode I really enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, this was really cool.
This
So,
whole episode, honestly, I really did enjoy. I liked it.
yeah, and so it's at some point like the Jedi pushes or force pushes or something against Lynn, and Lynn gets knocked out or whatever. So she's on the ground rolling around or whatever. So then Barriss, so the Jedi is about to kill Lynn, but then Barriss goes in and blocks, and she starts fighting the Jedi. And this is all we know. The Jedi is just the name of this person. That's all we get in
Mm-hmm.
the credits. Blah blah blah. And so they're fighting, but Barriss is pleading with this Jedi, like the Jedi are no more. Like just surrender. Like you'll be fine. There's a new way of doing things. Just come and join us, type of thing. Um, which this I think this was very in character for Barriss. What we've seen in these 2 episodes of her thinking she's doing good and that the Inquisitorius is good and the Empire is good, and it says like, hey, just stop rebelling and you can join us and you'll be fine. And this Jedi basically turns the blade off and surrenders, but then I was like, it's not going to be that easy.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Lynn from behind slices the Jedi in the back and starts walking away like mission accomplished. And Barriss is just like, this is not okay. And Lynn is like, well, it's done. The Jedi's done. This is what we came for. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. The Jedi have been defeated here. But then Barriss is like, pauses. And she's like, there's one more Jedi left. And I was like, yes. Like, I really like that line where like, I'm not an Inquisitor. I'm a Jedi. I'm going back to
Mm-hmm.
being a Jedi because what's happening here is evil, not good. And Lynn went to go fight Barriss, and Barriss force pushes Lynn off the cliff to her death. But it's Star Wars. Which, spoiler for next episode, but like, she doesn't die. But it's like, how does Barriss escape this planet when they
Without getting caught.
without getting caught.
I mean, she might have got knocked out, I guess.
Like maybe knocked down. She went back and stole the ship or something. I don't know. That they came on. Like,
Yeah, I think she did.
Honestly, I should probably look at the ship from this episode and then the ship in the next episode. Are they the same? I didn't even think to look.
Ooh.
They might be the same ship.
I didn't even think about that.
That'd be cool. Then that'll answer that question. But anyway, so Lynn gets pushed off, and Barriss runs back to the Jedi. Oh, because earlier, Barriss says that the Jedi is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So Barriss runs back after Lynn fell, because like the Jedi earlier was like, I have been running, I've been fighting, and I'm just so alone. And Barriss went to the Jedi and embraced the Jedi and was like, I'm not going to let you die. You're not alone. Which, based on the next episode, Barriss seemed to maybe think that she could heal this Jedi so the Jedi wouldn't die. So, which is really cool. Like, we'll talk about it more in the next episode, but it just ends like that with Barriss embracing this Jedi with the promise that you're not going to die and that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the second episode, Realization, right? Yeah. Any more thoughts about this episode, Drew?
No.
Because I was thinking what Barriss and Lynn should have done when they entered this town to talk about where this Jedi is.
Should have got the guy.
Got the guy, sat down at a nice table, and
let's drink some coffee.
Talk things over a hot beverage, such as coffee or tea. And coincidentally, our sponsor for today is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. What a coincidence. It's always every episode. It's just a coincidence.
Just so happens.
Yep. And so if you are harboring a Jedi in your midst that's a rebellion against the Empire and the Inquisitors show up, and you don't want to get your whole entire village slaughtered, try our sponsor, Wesley Andrews and Coffee Tea, and use their promo code for a discount on some great products. So let's take a listen.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. Cool. Well, last up is The Way Out.
The Way Out.
And so I don't know about you, but I really like this episode. This might be my favorite episode of this Tales of the Empire series, of these 6 episodes total. So I really like this. It adds a lot of context to things, implies a lot of things about other storylines going on. But like what you said earlier was like how like you just wanted more. Like this is the episode that like said like told me like I want more because there's other stories going on around here that this is connecting to, and like I'm like, man, I want this more story, which I think they left it open like it could be.
I think it's gonna happen.
I don't know if it's gonna be anime. It's probably like a book or something, which I'm fine with. But anyway, we'll talk about it when it comes up. But like, I really like this. I thought there's some really good ideas and themes, and the visuals were great. But what did you think, Drew?
I really like this episode too. I think the second one's still my favorite, but I really enjoyed this episode, and I like the time jump. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, it seems pretty significant time jump too, which
Yeah. So, so we'll kind of spoil the ending, but a little bit. But it seems at the end, by the end of this episode, Lynn, the fourth sister, wants to give up being an Inquisitor.
Mhm.
So that means this would take place after the Kenobi series.
correct.
And so now maybe that's why she doesn't do anything in the Kenobi series, maybe just because she doesn't want to do Inquisitorious stuff. So maybe she's like, I'm just going to watch. Maybe one could say that. But I don't think that's the case.
I don't think so. I think it's
um,
like it's definitely after that series. Um yeah.
But I also think that it could be as late as season 2 of Rebels, because it's might imply in this episode that she has been in contact with Ahsoka. And we know in season 2 of Rebels, there's an episode where there's a baby that the Inquisitors are after. Ahsoka is involved in saving that baby and relocating that baby to a safe place. And here, a baby that is force sensitive is being chased by the Empire.
I think it is. I think it's that whole thing.
So I think this is taking place during Rebels season 2, which says it's a big time jump. In season 2 would probably be Star Wars math, like 16 years after, or 66, or
Well, it has to be
or
after the
17.
Kenobi, and the Kenobi's before Rebels.
Right. Kenobi is 9 years after Order 66.
And that's
So
before the Rebel.
yeah, season 1 Rebels is 4 years before episode 1, or episode 4. So if it's season 2, it's maybe like 16 years, maybe closer to 17, kind of depending on how it all lays out. But or earlier, we don't know what Ahsoka's doing, as the Fulcrum could be doing that kind of thing.
But like you said, and oddly enough, I actually remember that whole arc in season 2 with the child. So I'm pretty sure that's what Dave was trying to
get at.
Yeah.
And
it makes sense why that Inquisitor wouldn't have been there.
Right.
Because at that point, she probably just never went back.
Right. And so it makes me excited to know that Ahsoka and Barriss
became friends
again and patched things up and are working together in a sense.
Yeah.
Like I really like that, and I kind of want that story of them.
I think yeah, that's true. Like, I think that'd be a cool book.
It would be, but I also want to see it in the cartoon.
True.
Animated.
But they could call it like Fix the Tide or something, or
I don't know. That's a good maybe that could be what our Q&A is. What should be the name of a Barriss Ahsoka friendship book or something like? But yeah, I don't know. This is connected to a lot of other stuff in Star Wars.
Because like what Barriss did was so bad, right? But it saved Ahsoka.
It did. Because
without Barriss doing that, Ahsoka would have been probably dead.
Yeah.
But then with Barriss doing that, maybe Anakin wouldn't have fell.
There's a lot of reasons why Anakin fell, and it's hard to say if any one thing that happened, if it was stopped, I feel like it could have saved things, but I don't know. It's too complicated. That's why we need a Star Wars What If. Take all the individual things that made Anakin fall.
It would just be like different ways Anakin could potentially fall.
Yeah. But
either way,
anyway,
would be good.
We should go scene by scene. So what is interesting is I don't think we got. It's like I'm trying to go back to the trailer, I feel like with the Barriss stuff, we didn't get anything from this third episode in the trailer. Like, I don't remember snow. I don't remember caves.
I think we did with the way she looked.
No, because I would have remembered that.
Well,
she looked older and janky.
while you're watching, I'll just go
But yeah,
watch
so
my reaction and
watch your reaction. Gosh, watch my reaction so I can get an extra view, Drew. That's why you get so many views. You just put it on repeat all day long.
it's just on a loop, bro. No,
Oh
I'm just
gosh.
kidding.
But yes, episode starts out and they're on like a snow planet. There's like a blizzard going on, and a family, father, mother, and a baby, are walking through this blizzard very slowly alongside some sort of creature thing. And it's a really bad blizzard. Like, how are they going to survive this? They're going through, and then one of the snow-covered rocks starts to move and gets up. I'm like, oh, it's not a rock, and it's like a giant, like mole type creature or whatever that's a human size or a little bit smaller or whatever. And at first, it's like, what's going on? The dad takes out his blaster and points it, and the guy's like, has his hands up, like, hey, come. And the dad says, like, we're here to seek the healer. And they show the baby's face, and he's like, all right, come, let's go, I'll show you the way. Okay, the healer. So obviously I'm like, okay, this is Barriss. Like, she knows how to do force healing or what's going on. Like, she has a name for herself as the healer. That's why people are seeking. But yes, so the next scene is the storm has ended, and they're walking towards like a little hut, little house thing that's in the middle of this field, next to like a mountain area, cliff area, and they go up to it, and someone from the inside comes out and asks what's going on, type of thing, and then goes in to ask to see if the healer will see them, and they're like, yep, she'll see you. And so Barriss is in this hut, and she says that this is a safe place and turns around, type of thing, and she's a lot older than, or older, we should say, in quotes, because there could be multiple explanations for this, but like, she's very different. Her hair is short. She looks a lot older, looks tired. Like, if this is, 16, 17 years later, she's, only in her mid to upper 30s, but like, she just looks really old.
Yeah. We also, we didn't get anything from this episode.
And I think I think in this episode, is her hair like a little bit gray too, a little bit turning gray? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
But
she's wrinkled. She's been in the sun too long. I'll tell you that. She needs Andrew's face routine for sure.
But they're like, yeah, we're here for healing because, the Empire came to our planet and checked all the children and took blood samples, and they got scared and they wanted to take our child from us, but like, we escaped. And Barriss is like, well, I know what you're talking about. Like, this happened to me when I was a baby, type of thing. And so, but what was interesting though, there was a reference that she made that I didn't know who she was referring to, but like, Barriss says someone called the Traveler. Like, the Traveler has told me about these things. Like, I don't know what that's referring to.
Rex? No, but this is Rebels, though. It shouldn't be Rex.
Well, Rex is.
I think maybe Ahsoka.
I don't know. It could be. But it's like, why didn't she just say a friend like she did later on in the episode?
Yeah, I don't know. I
So
guess we'll never know.
I guess maybe if they're, I feel like because they named this person a traveler and it's a significant to, like, they're not going to do that unless we're going to get more information later about this, who this person is. I don't know. This makes me curious, but Barriss tells the whole thing about her story, and this is like so sad for me. I was like really sad because like she's like, I was taken and trained in the Jedi and traveled the galaxy with my master and saw some amazing things, and then darkness overtook me. And but that was a long time ago, and they're like, oh, so is our kid a Jedi? And like, well, no, but if this was during the time of the Jedi would have found your child and he would become a Jedi. And so I don't know. This was a super sad. And but she's like, there's nothing I can do because your kid's not sick. It's just they did a blood sample on this, what we know as midichlorian count. But I heard someone talking about this like on some video I was watching, and how maybe the reason she looks so old is because doing all the force healing has drained her life force and has drained it from her body.
That makes sense, considering like the fourth sister, right? She doesn't look that old at all.
Right. And now obviously alien species are all different, so we don't know how they all age, but like,
but yeah,
she looked the same,
significantly older. Like she looked older than Ahsoka did in Rebels, so it would make sense. Like she's losing herself because she's giving back,
right?
Literally giving back, which is really cool to think about.
Yeah, it's just she's doing what she can, and she just kind of. So like this is like kind of what we were referring to last episode when that Jedi, she says to the Jedi, like, "I'm not gonna let you die." Like, she must have been aware of force healing and knew that she had that ability. She may have used that. Like, we never saw her use it, but like in Clone Wars or anything. But maybe she had that inclination already and knew about it, and she assumingly saved the life of that Jedi in the last episode. So that's what she continued to do after that, was just heal people, and she became known as the healer, and people would travel long distances to find her, which I think is really cool.
You think she was on Hoth?
No.
That would have been really cool, though.
It would be cool. Hoth. I feel like this place was
Hothish.
less snowy though. Like there was visible ground. Like there's like plants growing, I think too. Like I don't remember seeing it. Well, like at the end, like when Lynn is coming out with Barriss's body, like there's like red stuff all over the floor. Like it seemed like it was like flowers or something.
Was it salt?
It was red.
Yeah, remember in episode 8?
No, it's not Crate. Gosh, it would have been funny if it was though.
It would have been kind of cool. Respect.
If it was Crate, but on a different side of the planet, they could have had the crystal foxes running around rather than that stupid like gopher thing that they had. Like
that's true. There wasn't tauntauns running around. That would have been cool.
Yep.
I love me some tauntauns.
Yep. And so at the end of the time, or after Barriss is explaining the story of her life or whatever, the wind picks up outside a little bit. Wind blows in, blows all the candles out. And then the other person, so there was that mole guy and then this other lady that was there. And she comes in and refers to Barriss as Wise Mother, which is cool. And says someone is coming or whatever. And so everyone walks outside the hut, and Barriss looks off in the distance, and she sees someone coming. And she tells her two helpers, two there, like, you guys gotta go through the cave system or whatever, go to my ship, go to coordinates and leave. And well, where are we going? You'll be going to an old friend of mine. She'll know what to do. So that's where we kind of hint that it's probably Ahsoka or whatever. And they're like, well, we want to return once we do this. So he's like, no, you've done enough. You've helped enough. She's like, Barriss probably knows that's the moment she's going to die type of thing, or could die. So it's like, don't come back here. This place is compromised. Don't do it. Like, just thank you for your help. And she says something like, pass on the teachings. So like, I don't know if these two individuals are force sensitive, and kind of like she tried to like train these two people in some way with the Jedi ways or not, but there's that. And then the parents are like, well, what can we do to repay you? Is there anything we can do? And she's like, just live. Like, the best thing you can do in the Empire is live, to not die. So just keep living your lives, keep your kids safe, type of thing. Just live. And so they go, and then Barriss sees the fourth sister coming, and she's like, of course it's you. Like, we almost gave up looking on you. Like, we didn't think we were gonna ever find you, and when we give up, this is when we find you finally. And she's like, I'm here to take the child. And Barriss is like, I'm not gonna let you do that. And the fourth sister just goes to attack, and then it's very reminiscent of the first episode where the Grand Inquisitor is unarmed and is just dodging everything. And Barriss was really good at dodging a lightsaber with her hands behind her back. Did you like the scene?
I really did, yeah. It was sweet because it made you think of the beginning of when the Grand Inquisitor did that to her. It like brought them all together.
Yep. And so we're guessing that like I think Grand Inquisitor did the same thing to the fourth sister in the same way, where like, all right, here's a lightsaber, try and hit me. Probably, so she's probably like experienced the same thing, but she's now doing it to a Jedi who is doing it better than the Inquisitor, because the Inquisitor got hit by Barriss on her first day. So that's cool. And it comes to a point where like Barriss is like, all right, just stop. Like, you don't have to do this type of thing. And she's like, you're not gonna stop me. I need you to, like, the Inquisitor says to Barriss, you need to stop. Let me go. Like, get him. And Barriss is like, all right, I'll let you go. And I bought them enough time to get into the caves because she looked over her shoulder, and like they're just walking in. It's like, she's like, if you go into those caves, you're not gonna find them. You're not gonna find your way out. You don't know the way. And it's like, whatever. So she just steps to the side, and the Inquisitor runs in. And then, as the family and the helpers are walking through things, like Lynn is trying to find them, and they almost see each other, and then but the mole guy like saves them. Like, I gotta go back, and there's a lot of near misses, but eventually Lynn gets frustrated and confused and gets trapped, and the family, they get in the ship and fly away, and Lynn is just trapped inside the caves, and she's just freaking out. She's panicking. She's slicing walls. She's falling down. Everything's just going crazy. And then Barriss starts talking a little bit. Like, Lynn, just stop. I can show you the way. You know the way out. You just gotta stop. Like, and she just makes her even more enraged, and she's just going crazy. And then something I did not expect in this moment was, in one of her blind stabs in the darkness, she hits Barriss in the chest, gut, whatever. And immediately, the Inquisitor feels bad.
Yep.
And so, like, that was the one thing that I kind of felt wasn't realistic, was how fast the Inquisitor felt bad for Barriss. Like, I get it, like, maybe because like the whole thing is the Inquisitor, like, you're just trying to survive yourself. Like, you don't want to die, you don't want to be killed, and so you just do what you're told. You do all this stuff, you kill all these people because you just want to save yourself. So they're still like not fully on board in a sense. A lot of the Inquisitors, but they're just doing it to survive. And so maybe the fourth sister was like that, where she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she just wanted to live. She didn't want to die. And so maybe that's the only thing that makes it make sense, is that she wasn't fully on board with Inquisitorius. But Barriss falls down into her arms, and she's just basically like, you know the way out. Like, you just gotta stop. Like, remember, basically, I think it was kind of implying, like, remember what it's like to be a Jedi. Just listen to the Force. Just breathe. Don't panic. Become balanced in yourself, and you can easily find your way out. And some people, I think, were trying to say that Barriss is still alive at the end of this, but my main argument is that you watch the breath,
and it goes away.
Yeah, like you see them like very vividly breathing their breath, like
on purpose.
Like it's like very like look at them breathing the air and them causing their breath to like fog out, like, and then eventually you see Barriss stop breathing out fog or whatever. What is it even called? We do that in Minnesota every winter. Like, what is it called? Like
steam.
I don't even know. But I was like so sad that she died.
Yeah. I
was like, but she went out a Jedi. She went out being compassionate and loving and helping people. And then Lynn was very torn, and she realized she just has to stop being an Inquisitor. And she's like, I'm going to get you out of here. And so she picks up Barriss, and then you see her walking out of the tunnel that she walked in. And so I think people are trying to say that because like she took the body out and there wasn't like a burial, that maybe, or maybe she could use the healing ability too. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's supposed to imply that she died, and like that was her story arc, and she ended up saving the Inquisitor person who trained her from the beginning, who's been hunting her for all these years, and ended up changing her ways at the last minute too. And I think it's supposed to be a full circle story.
Yeah. But I really like the music in this episode. Was really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was tear-jerking.
I think honestly the music and all of it was really good. Even when like they went to that planet in episode 2 and it was like doo, 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 doo. Like it was really cool. Like the sound effects and I mean all of the Tales stories are really good. So
yeah. So that is Barriss' story. And like Drew was saying a lot at the beginning that we just wanted more, and I did. Like, there's so much stuff that like could have happened that we just didn't see because it seemed to span 16, 17 years of time between these 3 episodes.
Star Wars math.
So there's tons going on that we missed. Like, man, a Barriss show, like of her doing stuff and then reuniting with Ahsoka, like. Ashley Eckstein, like, bro, she's looking for any opportunity.
She's trying to play Ahsoka again, bro.
And I didn't know this about Ashley, but her getting the Ahsoka part
was a fluke.
Was like her first ever thing.
No.
She said she was auditioning for parts.
That was her first
4 years, and this was the first thing that she got.
That was her first time auditioning as a voice actor.
Well, I know she's done live action stuff.
Yeah, she was in like a lot of younger stuff when she was young.
But like, I didn't realize that was her first like, thing that she got. That was
cool. And she originally applied for the Clone Wars to be Padme.
Yeah,
and
I saw that clip, yeah.
She was like, "Oh, that's not gonna happen because I don't have Padme's voice. Like, I don't sound like Padme." And her manager was like, "No, just go anyways." And they literally just like. Not Padme, but Ahsoka. Now that could be her voice, and it's can never picture it a different way.
Yeah, and that's her life now. She's
goes
to every con that she can and does all this cool stuff.
And she started that whole clothing line for for girls. So
Her universe. They also
Yep.
have tons of guy stuff too. Like
well now, but for the
Originally.
longest, it was because she could not when she started the Clone Wars. Like I was at that panel during ICCC, and she was talking about that. Like when she started Clone Wars, like she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be this character. I'm gonna go buy Star Wars shirts, and she couldn't find anything in her size, and it was only just like smalls and mins, so it never fit properly. So then she fought, and she got the rights for her universe, and now she does. I mean, her universe is not just Star Wars now; it's like
everything.
sci-fi.
But it's
or
mostly
Marvel.
Star Wars, though.
But yeah, it's still mostly Star Wars. But
I always look through that website because there's a lot of cool stuff. To like, there's been times where I've like,
yeah, for his universe or their universe.
It's still her universe's website.
Yeah,
but there's just
I
the
think
men's section.
there's a men's.
But there's been multiple times where like things have been on sale and I put multiple items in a cart.
Jeremiah, you gotta do it, bro.
Like I just don't wear stuff. Like I don't.
You can wear for us.
I know, but I'm like, am I gonna spend all this money on stuff I'm gonna wear like
at church or
no? I don't wear shirts with like pictures or writing on it in public. I don't.
Oh.
I just wear my plain monochromatic.
Oh, lame.
That's just. I just don't like. Like, don't look at me in public by reading my shirt. Like,
but I mean, you did during when we went and saw episode 1.
Yeah, because I'm trying to promote our podcast at the movie theater.
Star Wars thing.
But
which it was fun. If you guys have not watched episode 1 in theaters, you should go do it. It's worth it.
Is it still out?
I think it's showing this entire month every weekend. And it was like the most gross.
It was second. It was the second highest movie at the box office this past weekend, but it was only like $8 million or something like that. Like,
that's a lot.
That's not a lot. I thought it would have been way more than that.
Yeah, it's still a lot though.
But
considering like there's other people that came out with movies that were mad.
And if you're going to AMC, don't be like Drew and spend $50 on that R2.
Buy the box. Do
you have that in your room right now?
No, actually, Miles been drinking it.
I thought you were gonna like keep it mint and sell it on eBay for like $1 million.
Yeah, I got home and Miles really wanted it. Like the next morning, he woke up and I was like, okay. So we put out orange juice in it, and he's eating his animal crackers out of the inside of it. And he brought it to his grandpa's house, and he brought it home, and it's like his favorite thing. And I was like, okay, it's worth every penny. I guess
it's worth it. $50 for something.
So worth it. And I'll bring it back to the movie theaters, and now I'll fill it up myself. And yeah, it was worth it.
All right.
Get yours. Grace got hers.
Yep.
Shout out to Grace.
I mean, you wouldn't have known about it unless I told you about Grace doing it.
True. Either way, it was worth every penny. I'm really mad I just didn't bite the bullet and drink it and ate out of it during
the funny thing is though, is Drew wanted it so bad, it was $50. So he called his wife at the movie theater, hey, can I buy it? And your lovely wife, Stephanie, said, sure.
Said yes.
Go ahead.
Your favorite holiday, sure. It was my Star Wars gift.
All right. So that was the Barriss arcs. I'm super happy with what we got. I'm satisfied, but I think they're opening it up for more in the future. But
I think a Ahsoka Barriss book would be really cool.
Yeah. So how many for this arc? How many? I don't know what like how many
tails.
No, I'm saying like how of 10. How many? What of 10? How many?
I said tails because tails.
How many Inquisitor sabers out of 10 would you give these 3 episodes?
Probably like 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Like 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking of 8.5, 9, just because it's a little bit like
it just felt a little fast.
A little fast. I wanted more, but what we got, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
But next week we are doing the Morgan Elsbeth episodes, and they introduced some very interesting things that we learned that I'm excited to talk about. But I think Drew and I are going to have a lot of debate next week on what is and isn't good. So
It'll
tune
be
in for
fun.
that.
Tune in for that next week.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Anything else about Barriss?
No.
All right. Cool. Well, let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Cool. Well, an hour and a half before this episode, well, I always like 8 o'clock is kind of what we aim for, but like an hour and a half before 8 o'clock, we didn't have any voicemails.
Oh, wow.
And so I posted in the Discord, hey, keep the streak alive. Who's going to save the day? And we got 2 just in the nick of time. The person who officially saved the day, who sent in the first one like a few minutes before the other person, was our good friend, Will. So let's take a listen to his
Will always saves the day.
His little short message for us today.
Hey, Empire Radio. The streak is saved. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it?
You could have asked a question, Will. Come on. You could have asked a question, made a comment about these episodes, but you saved the day. Thank you, Will. But
we gave him a lot of crap before the podcast started or the episode, so I'm not going to say thanks for saving the day. That's
but the person who carried the most weight, who actually is contributing to us discussing stuff tonight, is our good friend Elias. He has a question for us.
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, you guys sent out a call for voicemails, so, your boy's coming in clutch here.
Here we go.
Question of the week. What is your biggest pet peeve? Well, I have a lot. Probably too many to list right now. So I'm just gonna say that and leave. Bye.
Okay.
All right,
I'm really curious what your pet peeves are, though, now.
He has a lot of them.
Apparently has a lot.
But the question is, our biggest pet peeves. I have a lot. I think a lot of us, especially as Americans, have a lot of pet peeves.
I have my number one.
I was thinking of one today. Literally, I was thinking this is a new pet peeve. And I was like, I hope someone asks us about our pet peeve sometime on voicemail.
Really?
But I can't remember what it was. So what was yours that...
My number one pet peeve of all time is when you're at any event or even in high school or whatever, any social eating thing, someone takes their gum out and puts it on their plate.
Why?
That is the nastiest, grossest. That's my 100% biggest pet peeve.
Why?
1, I don't want to look at gum from someone else's mouth. 2, all the germs from your mouth is sitting on a plate and is just looking at you. It's just so gross.
What about someone with their food, fork or spoon?
It's not the same.
It was in their mouth and then they put it on their plate.
It's not the same at all. It's literally like your saliva and everything is just sitting on a plate looking at you. And it's just nasty and gross. It's like when I went to Seattle and they had like the gum wall.
Yeah.
Alley or whatever. I was like, this is so gross. And it's like melting because it was hot. And it was just like, I was like, oh, I'm going to puke. I had to leave it pretty quickly. Yeah, no, that's for sure by far my biggest pet peeve is seeing people's gum. Blowing bubbles, whatever. But when it's out of your mouth and on something, and a lot of times those people who do it, I'm looking at you guys who do it, you're the type of person that will forget about it and just leave it on your plate. There's very rare that you get a person who ends up putting it back in. Most of the time, it's the same people who do that and same people that have a really messy house, but that's a different conversation. Either way, they're the same people that take it out, leave it, and then they actually forget about it. So if you ever worked at a restaurant or anything and you're cleaning a plate and all of a sudden get stuck because there's freaking gum on, oh, it's so gross. So that's for sure, by far, my biggest pet peeve.
Dang.
Yeah.
I guess whatever floats your boat.
My wife would say her biggest pet peeve is probably me. All of me, but whatever. What about you?
I don't know. There's this annoying people, I guess. It's like, I don't know. This
people.
I don't know. What I hate, because like I don't drive and all that stuff, and I just like walk places and like take the bus and stuff. What I hate is when, again, in winter, when people don't shovel their sidewalk. Like, one, it's a law, so you should be doing it. But I hate when people like do the bare minimum, where they have their skinny shovel and they just push one road down the center.
Just
that's
enough
all
for
they
people
do.
to walk.
And it's like not even wide enough to walk through, but they just I shoveled, blah blah blah. Or like they'll do like, I feel like most people, they'll do like they go down the middle and then they go on the sides and like finish it up or whatever. Like they'll go down the middle, but then like you got people who like just do like lightly on the sides, so it's like the corner is touching the sidewalk, but the other corner is not. So it's like ramps of snow like on the side, like going like shingled. And I'm like, it takes like an extra 5 minutes just to do it properly.
True.
And like when I lived at my parents' house after they moved out, and I was there for a few years just by myself, whatever, and I took care of all the snow, I had the best sidewalks on the east side of St. Paul. They were pristine.
I'm not even gonna argue with that because you definitely do, especially around there. Sure.
I got the big wide metal, like full metal heavy duty scraping one. Go down the middle.
Probably
pick
why you
it
have
up.
a bad back, huh?
No, I've always had a bad back. But I do the
Definitely didn't
sidewalks
help.
were clean. Like did the driveway. It was the best.
Even though you never drove on it.
But I still needed to like clear it out, so if people came over, or you gotta remove the snow away from your house so it doesn't like melt into your house.
Correct.
In the spring. And
that's the thing I loved about this year. No spring runoff.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Like the sidewalks are clean, but like it melts like during the day and then freezes and then it's like super icy.
Yeah, it's like a sheet of ice. I never shovel my sidewalk because my neighbor always snow blows like my house, and then like he stops there. I don't know why. I've never asked him to do it, but he's like an older guy and always does like stuff for the neighborhood, and I think he just knows that I have like a little kid and it's gonna take too long to get to it. So he just literally always does it perfectly for me. It's like this year I never shoveled out front of my house at all. I really need a mow though, really bad. But
well, it's no mow May, so
that's the thing. I can't do that, dude. This year, like my grass is already like.
Because the whole thing is like the flower, like dandelions and other like flowers that pop up first thing in spring. Like you're supposed to leave those so bees can pollinate and
interesting
multiply and stuff, because the bee crisis is not good.
So like you won't get in trouble if you don't mow it?
You don't have to. I don't think you have to mow your grass.
You have to. You can,
as long as it's not like going into the sidewalk. Like if it's like impeding on the sidewalk, yeah. But like if it's just your yard,
I think you legally have to.
I don't think
at least in like my brother-in-law literally got a ticket last year because he didn't mow his yard fast enough.
What town is he in? It's probably city.
It all depends on cities. You're right. Like it depends.
Is he in a nicer neighborhood?
He's in Coon Rapids.
I don't know. But so that's one of those things, like you only get ticketed if someone calls on you.
Oh yeah, one of his neighbors are definitely being dumb.
It's not, the city's not going around looking
But the neighbor who shovels my thing and his yard is like pristine, he would probably end up calling on me if I didn't do it. And like my yard, I can do my entire front and backyard in 30 minutes. Like it's not a big deal. Like it's whatever. Like, my yard's pretty
Even
small.
that long?
Well,
feel like
if I want to do it and then like get like the
weed whacker and do
and
edges?
then do
Oh,
the
okay.
whole edge, makes everything look pristine. It's like only 30 minutes. And then also pick all the stuff, because my house is like everything is, my walkway is all brick around my entire home. So there's so much like weeds and stuff that go in between the bricks.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
super annoying. But I don't like to get the kill spray stuff because my dog has sensitive skin.
Oh gosh.
So then she was like break out because I'm poisoning half the yard, and it's just whatever.
All right. There's a lot of pet peeves that we could all talk about, but there's not enough time in the day for that. So hopefully that
shovel
answers
your
you.
yard for Jeremiah, and don't ever show me your gum.
Yep. And you now know that next time we have a fan meet up, everyone's gonna be chewing gum.
And everyone's gonna spit out, and I'm gonna yell at every single person.
You're not gonna
and
do
then
anything.
Also call them out on the podcast. We in our live stream and be like, Lucy, put your gum back in your mouth. Because we know when we do another one, Lucy's gonna come again. So we gotta.
I bet we'll see her at next Star Celebration. She's gone.
She's probably going to Japan.
Lucy, are you listening? Are you going to Japan?
Lucy, send a voicemail next week and let us know if you're going to Japan.
Yep.
And
if you're listening,
if your family can fund me and Jeremiah to go to Japan.
Oh gosh, we're not gonna. I am not gonna accept that offer. I'm sorry.
I would probably.
Oh gosh. But yes. So if you want to send a voicemail and not have to rely on these people doing the Hail Mary catches at the end of the time to send in a voicemail, you could be the first. You could send one in right now as you're listening.
Be the savior.
You could. We don't even need a savior if you just get it done right away. Just get it done. Send us a voicemail, and you want to know how? Click the link in the description. links.co/Empire Radio. Link spelled with 2 I's. Click on that. There is a link specifically for voicemails. Speakpipe.com, our new voicemail website. Super easy. You don't got to sign up. All you got to do is just push a button. Just type in. It'll ask for a name, and you can just put your screen name. You can just put your first name. You can just put CT5555 if you want. Whatever you want. Send us a voicemail. We love to hear from you. Question, comments. Next week is our the Morgan Elsbeth episodes. Let us know what you think about those episodes.
Or even this last week.
Or this
Let
one
us know
too.
what you thought about this one. Let us know what. Also, send in voicemails and tell us what you guys did on May 4th, the best holiday of the year.
Yeah.
Let us know about that.
Or if you have your own pet peeves you want to tell us about.
True.
If you have a ridiculous one like Drew that this does not make sense, tell us about that one.
Wait. Okay. Let us know, either voicemails, comment down below, wherever you are listening. Let Jeremiah know that my pet peeves was valid, okay?
But what about in high school when there's like gum underneath the desks and stuff? Like, were you?
Oh, it was so oh, dude.
How'd you get through a day when literally every desk has gum underneath on the bottom?
Well, my school didn't.
Really?
Dude, my school was really small. You got in trouble for that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think my graduating class was the biggest, and it had 52 people in it.
Dang, bro.
So it was really small. So when anyone did that, someone ratted you out, and then you had to go clean up all the desks. Like, I'm telling you, it wasn't really a thing.
All right, cool. But other than voicemails, in that same link, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube for these videos as well as reaction videos and sometimes other things that we have on there. So go check those out. Follow us on Twitch so you can watch us on our live streams for every episode. We go live for every episode, so you can talk to us, fact check us, all that stuff. There is a fan email link. Go click on that if you want to send us an email about anything. There is a link to join the Discord. Join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. And then also needlesslynerdy.com, which is a podcast network that we are a part of. So go check them out. All kinds of nerdy content over at Did. So that's how you can get connected to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that is everything we have tonight. Next, like I said, next week we Morgan Elsbeth episodes. After that will be Master and Apprentice book review. And then after that, looking ahead, we have Comics with Grace.
Ooh.
Episode 2. And before that comes out, there's going to be a bonus episode from Grace. We're not going to say what it is. It's going to be a bonus. It's going to be a surprise. That's already been recorded. So that's going to go up the Sunday before Comics with Grace number 2. So get excited for that. And then after that, we'll be doing 7 weeks of the Acolyte series. So get excited for that. And we don't have anything planned after that yet specifically. Got some ideas floating around, but we'll be here for you.
We'll be here.
Yep. All right, cool. Anything else, Drew?
That's it.
All right. Well, you've been listening to another Bad Batch episode.
Twice tonight.
The first ever Tales of the Empire-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.